A very good morning to distinguished guests, esteemed faculty members and my dear participants. A warm welcome to 6th day, session 12 of AICT sponsored ATAL FDP on Artificial Intelligence based Energy Storage System integrated with Renewable and Sustainable Energy Sources for Electric Vehicles, organized by Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, NRI Institute of Technology, POTHAVARAPPADU, Today, our chief guest and resource person is Mr. Uma Desu. He is the writer, life coach, builder, intelligence pioneer, publisher, webmaster, tracker, innovator, and angel investor. He is the artificial intelligence ChatGPT, and he is the chief guest of Artificial Intelligence GenAI pioneer Andhra Pradesh. He had worked in various fields like Chief Intelligence Officer, GenAI Pioneer, Google Skills Boost, Google Leader, author of soon-to-be-released GenAI, the $1 trillion opportunity, Chief Intelligence Officer of GenAI LLP HQ in India and serving across the globe, offering research, sales, and competitive intelligence to Global 2000 and domestic companies. Generative Artificial Intelligence Trainer, Prompt Engineering Training and GenAI Tools Training, Certified Prompt Engineer. Now I request Dr. Uma Desu sir to please come on to the dais and start today's session.
What's the importance of GenAI in electric vehicles? In electric vehicles, GenAI is obviously used in various ways. One is obviously, everyone knows Tesla self-driving cars. So in Tesla self-driving cars, AI is helping by being the brain behind the Tesla self-driving cars. So a little while from now, I will be explaining the brain behind your electric vehicles or the self-autonomous cars, how they actually do it. So what's the AI behind it, I'll be explaining in detail. Before that, I'll just like to cover broadly what are the implications of AI and how AI is helping in the electric vehicle industry specifically and electrical and electrical engineering as very broadly. So if you look at it, GenAI is obviously used in see, there are two divisions here.
Current slide. Kishore.
If you look at the way we speak about, let me just start with the first one. The normal users of GenAI in electric vehicles are obviously predictive maintenance, battery storage, autonomous driving. We'll be covering each of them. So for battery optimization, I'll be looking at also showing you a project demo of battery optimization. Those students who are interested can take it up as a final year project as well. So we'll be looking at a project presentation on battery optimization. Predictive maintenance. When we talk about predictive maintenance, that's the biggest area where AI is helping. development in electric vehicles and AI has obviously been in predictive maintenance. So much that we have been forced to distinguish between what is GenAI and what is predictive AI. Normally we use the terms interchangeably, saying that GenAI is used in predictive maintenance. There is a difference. GenAI is the ability to create content using large language models, pre-trained large language models. So we normally act or using prompts to generate content, and that's mostly the definition of GenAI. Whereas predictive AI is what we are using in electrical, electronics, even pharma industry, or even manufacturing industry. So predictive AI is the use of AI to do predictions based on data sets and statistical algorithms. So that is the big key difference here between predictive AI and generative AI. So when we talk normally, we say that GenAI does predictive maintenance, but we in the AI sector like to distinguish both, saying that GenAI is different and predictive AI is different. So AI obviously plays a very key role in enhancing renewable energy systems for electric vehicles. It aids in optimizing energy storage, predicting energy demands, and improving system efficiencies. And obviously the market leaders are Tesla and NIO who are leading it. Apart from it, we have several companies who are looking at battery storage optimization. And not just that, if you look at the kind of companies which are servicing, in India if you take Tata Motors is working on a lot of projects regarding battery maintenance. So what I will be doing is, I will not just be presenting the theory behind it, but also be presenting the use cases, both global and Indian, so that you might really get a good feel of all these areas. And before that, I have summarized all my presentation slides into a video. So I just like to play it first so that it gives an upfront feeling about what we are going to cover in the next 2 hours. So let me play the video first. सर साउंड रहा था
Electric vehicles, so buckle up, because in this video... what's up, Circuit Tribe? It's your boy Circuit Videos back. Electric vehicles. Now, EVs are already changing the game, right? They're sleek, they're efficient, and they're paving the way for a cleaner future. But what if I told you that things are about to get even more insane? We're talking about generative AI, or GenAI for short, and how it's about to supercharge the EV revolution. GenAI is poised to completely transform the way we design, build, and even use electric vehicles. So buckle up, because in this video we're going to break down exactly how GenAI is impacting every aspect of the EV experience. From squeezing more range out of your battery to making charging faster and smarter than ever before. You don't want to miss this. Alright, so let's kick things off by talking about generative AI. Imagine a super smart computer that can analyze massive amounts of data, learn from it, and then use that knowledge to design and optimize complex systems. That's GenAI in a nutshell. When it comes to electric vehicles, GenAI is a game changer. Specifically, we're talking about battery management. The battery is the heart of any EV. It's what gives you the range to cruise down those highways and the power to leave gas guzzlers in the dust. Imagine algorithms that can analyze your driving style, the weather conditions, and even the terrain to optimize your battery usage in real time. We're talking about squeezing every last mile out of every charge, folks. GenAI is also being used to develop entirely new battery chemistries. Think about it. Longer range, faster charging, and a battery that lasts even longer. That's the power of generative. Okay, so we've talked about how awesome GenAI is, but let's be real for a second. EV batteries, as good as they are, still face some serious challenges. First up, we've got battery degradation now. Every battery degrades over time. But with EVs, this degradation can impact your range, meaning you can't drive as far on a single charge. And nobody wants to be stranded with range anxiety, right? Then there's the issue of energy density. Right now, EV batteries are pretty bulky and heavy because they need to store a lot of energy. And while they're getting better, we're still waiting for that breakthrough that will give us batteries that are smaller, lighter, and can power us for even longer journeys. And let's not forget about charging. While fast charging stations are becoming more common, they're still not as ubiquitous as gas stations. These challenges are real. But the good news is that they're not insurmountable. Alright, so we've talked about the challenges, but now it's time for the good stuff, the solutions. GenAI brings impressive tools like predictive AI for health monitoring. Think of it like a Fitbit for your EV battery. It analyzes data to predict issues and extend battery life. Plus, digital twins simulate real-time performance for optimization. Alright, enough of
Here we are talking about actual innovators who are using GenAI in electric vehicles. These companies I will be again detailing. This is just a summary of what I am going to explain in the next 1.5 hours.
the theory. Let's talk about some real-world examples of companies that are using GenAI to push the boundaries of EV battery technology. First up, we've got Pure EV, an Indian electric vehicle company that's making waves with its Batrix Faraday system. This AI-powered system is all about maximizing battery life. It uses machine learning to optimize charging, monitor battery health, and even provide personalized recommendations to riders. The result? Longer-lasting batteries and happier EV owners. Next, we've got Chemix, a company that's using AI to design entirely new battery materials. Chemix claims that its AI-designed batteries can achieve a 400% longer cycle life compared to traditional lithium-ion batteries. That's insane. We're talking about batteries that could potentially last for decades, folks. And for all you automotive nerds out there, let's talk about Tata Technologies. Tata is leveraging the power of AI to build the next generation of EVs. From startups to established giants, the entire automotive industry is buzzing with excitement about the potential of GenAI. Let's talk about the future, and I'm not talking about flying cars, although who knows, maybe GenAI can make that happen too. I'm talking about a future where electric vehicles and renewable energy sources work together seamlessly. Imagine your EV adjusting its charging schedule to use clean green energy. That's the power of AI and renewable energy integration. GenAI can optimize the entire power grid, balancing supply and demand for a stable electricity flow. Alright, so you're hyped about GenAI, you want to see it in action for yourself? Well, you're in luck.
We'll be summarizing and we'll be showing you some of the places where you can actually do the demos of these autonomous vehicles, energy optimization, circuit designs, and even battery optimization. We'll show you the places where you can do online demos as well.
There are tons of cool projects and resources available online that let you experiment with AI-powered battery management. One of my favorites is using Python on Google Colab. You can find data sets online with real-world battery data and then use Python libraries like TensorFlow or PyTorch to build machine learning models that predict battery health, estimate remaining range, and even optimize charging patterns. It's a great way to get your hands dirty with AI and see its potential firsthand. If you're more into simulations, you can check out MATLAB Simulator. This powerful software lets you create virtual models of EV systems, including the battery and motor control. You can then use AI algorithms to optimize energy consumption, design regenerative braking strategies, and even simulate different driving scenarios. And for those who want to dive into the world of reinforcement learning, Python is your friend again. Libraries like OpenAI Gym and Stable baselines 3 make it surprisingly easy to build AI agents that can learn to optimize EV battery usage in real time. You can even visualize these simulations and see how your AI agent makes decisions on the fly. The beauty of GenAI is that it's so versatile and accessible. So there you have it, folks. GenAI is not just some futuristic fantasy, it's already here. And it's revolutionizing the way we design, build, and use electric vehicles. From squeezing more miles out of every charge to enabling a seamless transition to renewable energy, GenAI is the driving force behind a cleaner, more sustainable transportation future. And the best part, this is just the beginning. As AI technology continues to evolve at a breakneck pace, we can expect to see even more mind-blowing innovations in the EV space. We're talking about self-driving electric cars that can navigate our roads with unparalleled safety and efficiency. We're talking about personalized in-car experiences that cater to our every need. The future of EVs is bright and it's powered by GenAI. So buckle up and get ready for the ride because it's going to be epic. Generative AI is revolutionizing the EV industry, especially in battery management. With AI, we're not just building better batteries, we're building a sustainable future for generations to come. But this is just the technology continues. We're talking about self-driving electric cars.
If you look at this, this is a self-driving car. In the US, it's again the race which is going on. In India, the adoption has been a little bit lesser. But if you look at this, the way they have been adopting, for example, I'll give you a case of Amazon or Walmart. Walmart is replacing not just its normal trucks, it's replacing its long haul drivers. You know, long haul trucks are those long 24-wheel trucks. Now, you're talking about a Tesla self-driving car which is self-driving, and in India, I don't think we can even imagine that a long haul truck can be driven without humans. But Walmart is exactly doing that. Walmart is starting this Jan long haul driverless self-driving trucks. And if this experiment proves successful, Walmart wants to throw out every single long haul driver and have these self-driving warehouse trucks, because one thing, drivers don't sleep. You don't need the driver to take break for the night. It can run all night, and that means more efficiency 24/7, and that's the reason Walmart is putting into place nearly 25,000 warehouse trucks. Those who have come to my class have already shown how Walmart has already replaced warehouse drivers. How many third years here? Okay, most are third years, so I don't need to repeat it. Fine. Those who have come to my class have already shown live how warehouse robots are replacing warehouse pickup agents and warehouse packing agents. So Walmart has already done that. Amazon has already done that. And Walmart has put 1 lakh warehouse robots or 7 lakhs warehouse robots instead of 1 lakh warehouse humans. So that's the same way we are looking at technology coming up in GenAI occupying the front end in all these areas. Self-autonomous cars, we have covered a little bit, but I will be covering the brain behind self-driving cars as you have looked at the video as well. There are two things which are involved here. One is the CNN, and the second thing which was referred in the video is RL, that's reinforcement learning. So we'll be looking at both of them, both a convolutional neural network and a reinforcement learning, to understand how exactly does an autonomous car really operate without any driver, and why it's so important for electrical engineering students and faculty to also understand why AI is needed to understand autonomous cars, and why the integration of AI into the electrical engineering industry is no longer a luxury but it's a must, because AI is coming into the electrical domain at a very fast pace. So unless you equip yourself with what's happening in AI or the AI technologies, you'll be left far behind. So with that summarization, I'll just close this. In fact, this video Let me just explain. I have also already shown you how to create videos using InVideo. And what I have done, I have just given my PPT to ChatGPT, asked it to create a video script. And out of my entire slides, it created the video script, and I have shown you what to do once you have the video script. Simply give it to video NVIDIA with all the photos and videos you have additionally. It automatically creates the whole summary. So my entire 43 slides has been summarized in 7 minutes again by an AI system. So coming back to these slides. Yeah, 44 slides. 44 slides entirely summarized in exactly 7 minutes. So these are the current trends: increasing electric vehicle adoption rates, AI-driven innovations and projections. Tesla, and obviously what you have seen in the video, obvious challenges that we face in the batteries. The three things: one is battery degradation, which happens fast, and second is limited energy density. The third, obviously, which is more relevant for a country like India, is charging stations. So in US, of course, the breadth of charging stations is very high. Almost every petrol bunk has got it now. But if you look at India, in the cities we have got these charging stations. But once you venture out on the highways, the availability of charging stations is highly limited. So you cannot take your electric vehicles out for long distance travel. So that's the problem with the adoption of EVs. You have to use it only in-house. See, for example, if you're taking an electric vehicle outside, say for going to Srisalam, simple thing, or going to Tirupati. Tirupati is 450 kilometers from Vijayawada. Now, if you have to take an electric vehicle out to Tirupati, obviously you have to stay one night somewhere and then only do it. Now, if you go with a petrol car, it's just 6 hours journey, you will still make it. But if you go with an electric vehicle, you have to invest one more day to just recharge the battery. So those are problems. It will take a long time for us to overcome it and increase the adoption of EV. So it's not just buying EVs, which is the easiest thing to do today. Everyone is going for green subsidies, but the problem is the charging infrastructure. So these are the challenges which we face in electric vehicle adoption, especially in countries like India. US is changing. Recently also I have been to US. Everywhere on the highway you have got these EV stations, at least 5 to 10 EV stations per large petrol pump, and wherever you have got exits, you have got EV stations. So the length and breadth of EV stations availability in US is still high, but kindly remember guys, even if you have EV stations, it means stopping at the place to charge it. Still, it's a long break in your journey. So if you are going for a journey, that means you cannot drive more than 300 kilometers in one single instant. That means every 300 kilometers you will have to stop. So that's the biggest problem still in electric vehicle adoption, and that's the reason also for long haul. Obviously, the adoption of EV is not going to be fast in India. And when I say India is not going to be fast, it also means we will not have the same kind of acceleration that the Western countries have, despite the government pushing very hard for electrical vehicle adoptions. In the cities, which definitely yes, in the cities we are seeing almost in my son's school, out of every 10 cars that come to my son's school, nearly 4 vehicles today are green vehicles. So I am looking at the change between last year and now, almost 4 vehicles in a city like Vijayawada. So you can imagine that in cities or cosmopolitan, only at least for intra-city travel, it will still work out, but for long haul, it's not going to work out. So addressing these issues is obviously critical for us for sustainable EV adoption, because these techniques alone enhance battery longevity and efficiency. So AI enhances battery performance. One is by predictive AI, predicting battery health and degradation, and also optimizing charging cycles for extended battery life. We don't use AI at the car level, we use it AI at the charging stations, because that's where we apply AI techniques or AI tools to optimize your charging and give you better productivity. So we don't exactly use AI inside the car battery. Kindly note it. And when you also talk about AI inside, we are talking about data. See, AI basically, you know very well, you have attended the session, AI entirely depends on data. So what we act on is data, and the data analysis comes to us from the places we collect the data. So now we can't collect the data from the individual car, but we'll be collecting the data from the time the car comes for maintenance at the dealer point. That's one source where we collect the battery health. And the second part, when you put it up for charging, in US, there is a system that every battery also has something like a QR code. So now when the battery is getting charged, doesn't matter where you charge it across the country, it automatically gets recorded in the every battery has got its own account or the database. So now at any point of time, the dealer or the user can log in and see what's his battery status, how much time it's going to stay life, what's the shelf life of the battery. All this data is available to every battery owner. As soon as he buys the battery, it automatically logs. See, even in India, what we today have, if I am buying a bike battery or a car battery, I am getting immediately registered. I think most of you know, those who are having bikes. Your Emeron or your other ones are immediately registering you, and you can see what time the battery is up for the maintenance. The biggest problem here, at a larger level, if I escalate it little bit here, where AI is being used, AI is being used very heavily in predictive maintenance in even smart grids. Normally what happens if you take our own transformers, the way the load comes, so if you take our own substation, transformer is this. So now what happens, that transformer is normally serviced once in a year or 6 months, and that's when we get the notice that the power will not be there because we are doing annual servicing and all. But this annual servicing doesn't take into cognizance the actual load of the particular transformer. We keep seeing that every now and then, every time, at least in a year, once it happens that a transformer blows off. Transformer pain. Why it's happening? Because one says, okay, bushes padai. Now when do the bushes need to be cleaned? According to the manual, they need to be cleaned only once in 8 months. But the load, it's not calculating the load on that particular transformer, and that's where AI comes into the picture. We have done it for several utilities. Our students have done it for several utilities. We have helped predict them. We work for Rayalaseema Power Corporation. My students have done that, and we also done for Singareni Congress. We have done the predictive maintenance project. So the students have collected data from transformers or from the substations, and from the substations they have done an analysis of the load, actual load. Because this data is available at the substation level. So if you ask the substation 1 year data, and you can look at the peak points, for manually you have to do it. Kindly remember, the biggest augmentation of AI is its ability to process large data, and this processing power came to us only 2 years back. Only after transformers architecture was invented came to us in 2017 by Google DeepMind, we were able to create transformers architecture for self-attention mechanism, and that alone gave us a capability to process huge amounts of data. See, the reason AI is so popular today is because of its ability to process data, and that data is exactly what's driving adoption very high in the electric vehicle industry as well, and renewable energy sources stations as well. So because this is the data which we are using, so if I can get my students in SRK or BMR to work on the data and really produce some workable solutions for predictive maintenance, you obviously can do also some similar kind of projects to do predictive maintenance for the electric vehicles, or to do initially, because the adoption rate or the data which is available to you guys will not be high when it comes to electric vehicles. But you can do the same projects for utility stations or transformers or maybe large utility stations. You go to a bigger corporation, maybe APC, BDCL or AP Southern District Discoms. You go to the Discoms, they have a lot of data sets. You take those data sets, provide it to the large language model. The large language model will crush the data and give you insights which you can use to create insights for your discoms, and the discoms obviously will be happy to have your students around. Let me tell you that it's not an boring position. We have placed students at discoms at an internship rate of around 55,000 per month. AI pays very high. AI is not just your field operations. See, if you are normally sent as intern to discoms for a normal role, I think most of your seniors must have gone there. You normally hardly get around 10,000 rupees per month. But if you are going in as an AI engineer to discoms, we have placed students at the rate of 55,000 rupees per month. So discoms definitely have a huge need for AI engineers to help them understand the data which they have available. So guys, that's one option which you need to look at, predictive maintenance powered by AI. So as EV chargers proliferate, ensuring their availability and performance becomes critical. I actually am speaking about this because I have to speak on this topic, but honestly, EV chargers industry in India is a long way to go. You can very clearly understand. In cities, yes, cities you definitely can get a lot of internship projects as well with the larger EV players. But when it comes to mass adoption of EV, it's going to take a long time. So this, though it's a very big industry globally, EV chargers in India, it's going to take some time for this particular industry to proliferate and give you opportunities to work. So when an AI model predicts, for example, if a component of the EV charger is likely to fail, the events manager can trigger maintenance workflows. This is exactly what I was saying. Every battery has a dashboard. Every battery has a dashboard, and as soon as you connect to that charger, this battery gets automatically registered in our national database which we have, and it automatically tells if any component is likely to fail. Unfortunately, in India, we have not reached that level of an infrastructure where, see, the EV station mostly in petrol bunks. Your petrol bunk EV station honestly is not so smart that it can, when you put your car for charging there, it cannot tell you the status of your battery. Adi time padutundi India lo radaniki, but this is exactly what's happening globally. As soon as you plug in your car, it will immediately tell if any component of your EV charger is likely to fail. So that's happening globally because there we have got more information and more availability of infrastructure. One use case, entity data. So entity data is very active in the US. So what it's doing is it's using AI in charging infrastructure to provide additional value. So what they do demand forecasting and even dynamic pricing optimization. So now they can do it because the infrastructure is such that it can capture data at the field level. See, ultimately the adoption of EV and AI is going to be valid only when at every substation or every place where there is a charging point, it should be connected to the main server where this data gets captured in the main server. And then only these kind of initiatives will really work. So what entity data is doing in the US, it leverages historical data from EV chargers and implements AI ML algorithms. That's the first part to do a traditional generic analysis on when the demand will peak or when the demand will fall, or at what time you need to get your scheduled maintenance. So AI is helping a lot. See, normally if you even come into the physical world, you get regular calls. If you are a car owner, you get regular calls from your dealers saying, "Sir, car servicing time is ready." How do they do it? they normally do it for 3 months or 25,000 kilometers. That's the normal schedule point there, right? My question is, if I'm a heavy user and my 25,000 is hit only in 1 month, the car dealer will not know it. But that's exactly the reverse in AI. Because of AI, anywhere you put in charging, it automatically collects the data about your battery and communicates to a national server. That's the difference between USA charging stations and Indian charging stations. Indian charging stations at this moment are not so wirelessly connected to capture battery at the field level. So that's one case of LTP data. So obviously when you are able to do it, you can also adjust the battery price demand based on demand. Charging point operators can maximize revenue. That means those people who are working or providing the charging infrastructure, they can maximize the revenue during peak times by going for on-demand or demand-based pricing. That's what even airlines do. Airlines say just the tickets automatically the remaining tickets they raise up. మనకు కూడా అంతే పండగలు వచ్చినాయంటే 10 రూపాయలు కొబ్బరికాయలు 30 రూపాయలు అమ్ముతారు ఇది అంతే. సో దిస్ ఇస్ వాట్ charge point operators are also doing. They want to maximize revenue during peak hours by going for maximum demand pricing. So when there is a peak demand, the pricing will be much higher and incentivize charging during off-peak hours. So that's what NTT is doing at charging stations across USA at this moment. So this is obviously going to lead to lower prices during off-peak times. So this is one use case. I'll be also providing use cases those who are interested in doing projects in electric vehicles. Guys, remember one thing: EV is the future for electrical students. If you are doing any project in EV, you are in third year still, that can definitely lead to a very strong summer internship in any of the biggies. So kindly stick with EV and AI. You will definitely get a very good project. We have got done several projects by our students and also shared some of it. I have already shared with you over the 3 days. But again today also I will share some of the data. You can take these projects, execute them. It will really help you a lot in getting your summer internship. So if you look at it, this is the use case. So this is another company called Chemix. It's a startup company. It's working on electric vehicle batteries. Now they have found an innovative way for electrolytes. So what they are saying is they have developed a novel electrolyte, and this electrolyte can extend the battery life by around 400% within a span of 2 months. So this is a new product which they have brought into the innovation that they have brought into the industry. This is a startup. So this is one use case. This is an AI's next target is the EV battery, and AI is actually helping in building this thing. One thing you need to understand: where does AI really help? AI really help in building scenarios to test trial and error. We are no longer doing those trial and errors manually, either in design or production. We are doing it entirely in simulations. And AI is helping us doing those simulations, and that's what even Chemix has done. Chemix has used in several different prototypes for electrolytes, and finally subsisted on one single novel electrolyte. This particular electrolyte can help extend the battery's life by 400%. So this will this will particularly take twice the time without use of AI. So that's what Chemix CEO has been saying. So these are the kind of startups which are going to drive the industry a lot, and these are being available only because of AI. Now, what's the difference between predictive AI and generative AI? Why do you have something called predictive AI? Normally, for newcomers, we only say generative AI does predictive maintenance. But for privileged students, we want to really distinguish it, saying that the predictive AI is different. So predictive AI mainly focuses on forecasting, whether that's forecasting patterns, future trends or events. So like GenAI, predictive AI uses machine learning obviously, while GenAI uses machine learning to create new content. Predictive AI uses machine learning to only do performance statistics, performance analysis and do forecasting. and that's where we do help. We use predictive AI. So now, normally GenAI obviously uses your neural networks. It uses ANNs, RNNs, DRS, RLs, and other kinds of things like quantum computing, federated learning, Bayesian networks. But predictive AI instead depends on normal algorithms. So it depends on more simple models, your smaller llamas instead of very large LLMs, to gather large amounts of data and then provide predictions based on that particular data. So now, when do we use GenAI or when do we use predictive AI? The difference is you use GenAI when you need to create content, when you need to create images, visualizations, statistics, models. That's when you use GenAI. But if all your target is only to do predictions or submit reports on analysis based on previous data, that's obviously when we use predictive AI. So this is one difference between both. So where are the restraints of AI and electric vehicle? As I said, the biggest restraint is availability of data, and the data can come only when there is a bigger infrastructure. So that is one. To really practically apply, what the industry is missing is obviously data. And in a country like India, data is hard to get. In USA it's still easy, but in a country like India, the biggest constraint is data. And AI cannot work unless it has got data. So that's the biggest constraint in India, but still we are looking at some areas like what Tata Motors is doing. So let's take a look at little bit. This is renewable energy into EV systems. This will come very late in India, but we are still not having your normal energy system. So if you're talking about solar energy, as you saw in the video, solar energy enabled charging systems, I think that's a very long way to go in India, and that's what you saw in the video, solar energy enabled charging systems. That's a very long way to go. So this will happen maybe a few years from now. And again, one thing you need to remember, if you're talking about something like bringing in renewable energy to charging stations, do you have that much space? USA obviously you have got so much space, so because they have got lesser population and they're spread out. But what we do, we spread it mostly in urban conglomerates. We don't use the outskirts because most of your USA lives in the outskirts and they drive down to their place of work. But we don't do it. We stay in the urban conglomerate. Obviously, there is no place there. Everyone just squeezes in more urbanization. In that such a scenario, expecting a solar, a solar park or a solar infrastructure charging, providing the ability to charge a car for 6 hours. Is it possible? Obviously not possible. And it's not about 6 hours. No, once this car goes, another car will come. So that means if that renewable energy has to charge an electric vehicle charging station, then it obviously needs to have very huge panels. What we saw in the video was just an example. You need very huge panels, and obviously if you need such huge panels, it's not possible in urban places in India where the charging stations at present are happening. So guys, this will not happen very easily. So even though we have this as a topic, renewable energy integration in AI electric vehicles is going to take a long time. So autonomous driving, we have seen this CNN, and I'll also be showing CNN how it operates. So AI processes sensor and camera data for autonomous navigation. See, one thing you need to remember. Now, if for example an electric vehicle or a person without driver, an autonomous car, this Tesla self-driving car. So this question I've already asked in the class as well. If this car is driving at 175 kilometers per hour, how is it going to take the decision to take a left lane or a right lane or just stop? If the car in front or if it's a very large long haul truck, and that long haul truck is going at only 35 kilometers per hour. So what is the technology, what is the brain which actually processes this information and gives to the brain which is available within the car, and kindly remember there is no human which is processing it, it's a machine which is processing it. So that's what we'll be looking at. Can anyone tell me how does it make that decision? If you are driving at 175 kilometers per hour and the truck which is in front of you, it's only going at 30 kilometers per hour. Finally, your students here, kindly tell me how does the machine or the autonomous car actually make a decision on when to take a left turn, and how does it do? How does it do? Sensors and cameras. So now obviously we'll use the sensor and camera data. Let me show you a typical architecture of a self-driving car. This is the technology which actually makes it happen. I will not go into the technology, but I'll rather show you what exactly happens. So this is the self-driving car. The self-driving car has got around 20 cameras and 18 sensors. And these 20 cameras and 80 sensors positioned at every aspect of the car. It's not just your, left, right, bottom and all. You also got extra directions, and you also got top, bottom as well. So we got 24 cameras and 18 sensors on a self-driving car, continuously pumping data into the brain. The brain is here a convolution neural network, and this convolution network at every second it's receiving 24 images and 18 sensors data. Sensors data, you use your typical physics formula S is equal to Vg. So use the sensors data to find out at what speed the front car is going or the front truck is going, and what speed the left side car which is coming, if there is a car coming in the left lane or already it's there in a blind spot. If you have to make a change, you need to take both in the blind spot and the car which is coming behind that blind spot. So you need these two cameras data or these two sensors data to calculate that, and that's the third and fourth input that goes into the system. And then finally, to even find out whether how many cars are coming in, then again you take the camera data. So how does this machine process so much data and actually gives the inputs to the brain to make the decision is what a neural network does, and that's a convolutional neural network. So I've kept it very simple for non-CSE students to understand. So the first part, we collect the images, we collect all the data, the census data, and once we have done that, we apply the CNN or convolution function. The convolution function, what it does, it converts each of those images. So I'm talking about one image. The same process repeats for 24 images. Each of the image is now positioned into a grid. Each of the image is converted into a grid, and now it is converted to a grid of 64 by 64. Then we pass filters, 3 by 3 filter. And this 3 by 3 filter passes across this entire image, and then it reduces this whole image into 13 by 13, and then we apply pooling. Pooling makes it into 3 by 3, and 3 by 3 image is what exactly goes into the machine. Very simple to understand, but let me just show you so that you can understand it much better. So the entire image grid which you have seen is a 64 by 64. We pass a 3 by 3 filter. We multiply that particular 5 by 5 window which we have taken. 5 by 5 means we repeat on the 64 by 64. If we are taking a 5 by 5 window, we are going to repeat it 13 times. So at every 5 by 5 window, we multiply it with a small filter and we get the output, which is 9 in this case, when this is multiplied with it, and that's the numerical which goes as a reduced dimension or reduced feature map. That's becomes, so 64 by 64 image becomes a 13 by 13 image. So this contains the most important thing in this case, because the image recognition. So the most important thing might be a car which is being detected there in that image, or it might be a dead end, or it might be a tree. Whatever it is, only that information is captured, the rest is totally ignored. Now after this 13 by 15 image is formed, we do the redo function to cut out noise. So for example, if it's a dead end and we only have a left plane which has got deep valleys and trees, all that information is cut out and we only get the information that it's a dead end. And then we apply the pooling function. The pooling function is another dimensionality reduction function. So what we do an pooling function. We again pass a 2 by 2 filter and we do pooling either by 2. One is max pooling or average pooling. In max pooling we take 2 by 2 and find out what's the maximum number there. And in average pooling we just do the average of these 2 by 2 and find out, say for example in 1356 it's 6 and 2478 it's 8. So this is max pooling. This is the feature map that we do. So again, your 64 by 64 had become 13 by 13, and now when we do this, it becomes finally 3 by 3. And this 3 by 3 image into 24 images. These 72 images are what are going as input to the CNN per second. Kindly remember, in the next second, another 24 images are coming. So this is a continuous process. So all these images put together, we are collecting the most important function, or the most important object which is present using these functions. So again, let me get back to your understanding. So this is what we do. We detect the most important features using convolution, and then we take out all the irrelevant stuff. And now exactly this is how it looks. Because you have got 3 by 3 images, but you also have 3 by 3 into 24 images. So this is exactly what goes into the system. This is the input, the way it goes, 3 by 3 into 24 images. Now we do again apply the functions, because understanding the scene in such a scenario where you have got 24 images, multiple layers, it's real hard, but that's how the CNN processes that particular image and converts it into flattened layers. So these flattened layers allows us to make the decision whether to take a left plane change or not. So this is what the final input comes. So the car makes a decision which is stopping at a red light or changing lanes. So this is the diagram which is showing a self-driving car making real-time decisions based on the processed images. So guys, this is how a CNN works. So if you really are interested in understanding autonomous cars, so this will be the technology which we will be using to simulate in a lab. You can do that simulation either in Altair or you can use in MATLAB. MATLAB also has got now better user interfaces and better GUI and AI enabled interfaces. So you can use that. We'll also give you the sources where you can do these demos online using CNNs. So this is finally the explanation which you have seen. This is exactly how it works. So that is CNN for you guys, autonomous vehicles. So coming back here. So this is autonomous vehicles. This is what we have covered now, CNN. And along with it, again, they also use reinforcement learning. AI in smart charging infrastructure, that's exactly what I was saying. It's very hard in India to do it, but normally this is how AI-driven smart charging stations, they connect to the national grid and provide data at battery level. Sustainable energy resources. So as I said, the optimization of solar energy, wind energy, biomass energy, that's normally what's suggested. But guys, you can understand, you cannot bring wind energy into the city. You cannot bring biomass energy into the city. And neither can you bring solar energy into the city. So all these are good to learn, good to hear, good to discuss. But honestly, in a country like India, where there is more urbanization rather than spreading out like in US, the usage of renewable energy resources in electric vehicles, guys, is obviously very long way to go. So this is one system which is available right now in the US. So what we are having is battery power management for solar power, PV and wind hybrid power system. These are actually working on highways in the US. So you are both connected to a wind farm, and you are also connected with hydropower stations which are nearby. So those power stations are placed in such a way that your battery charging station is positioned very close by, so that you can take load off the grid. So those are available in the US, but here we find it very hard. So one thing you need to remember, you need to have a grid to take the data, load from. So without that grid, you need to create your own solar park if you want to do a renewable energy. So that's a little bit off the track in India. So again, hybrid solar photovoltaic and wind power system, and again you can do this simulation, but honestly implementation you might find it very less in India. You might find it maybe one or two or maybe a few in North India, and that too on the highways. But implementation, if you take a country like say South India and all, you might find it really hard to even find use cases to take data from. Because you need a wind power system or a hybrid solar and a wind power system connected to an electric charging station. How many such are available in India? So data is a big constraint, but you can do this simulation. Here there is enough data available. Kaggle has got a lot of data sets. All the utilities and discoms and even renewable energy corporations in the US have provided a lot of data sets. So for projects wise, you can use the data to do these simulations using MATLAB or Simulink. We have the entire projects, what to do, which libraries we import. We have those projects and we can provide it to you. So this is again a project. I will just pass it on because it's very hard to do it in India. So this is used for in demand forecasting. So demand forecasting, let me come again. Let me come to the use cases because we are running short of time. Now this is where use cases are happening. So one thing guys, remember in the IT industry, rather than TCS or Infosys, Wipro has been very strong in utilities even from the time when I was working in the industry, TCS as the head of sales intelligence. Wipro is always strong in utilities, and even now Wipro has the highest number of use cases in utilities or electric vehicles or anything related to E&U, energy and utilities. So if you really want a career in IT, prefer with Wipro or stick with Wipro rather than TCS or Infosys, because that's where you will get a lot of your core related projects. And I'll show you on Wipro's side what they are using GenAI for. So now this is TCS. TCS has used GenAI to enhance productivity and engineering research and design for all its automatic clients like Rolls-Royce and Jaguar Land and Tech Mahindra. Tech Mahindra is now collaborating with NVIDIA to develop Indus 2. It's a custom AI model focused on Hindi and its dialects. So this is a language model they are developing for electric vehicles, and this allows human-machine interaction in vehicles. The dealers network of AP and South India have pushed Tech Mahindra to also push South Indian languages, and that's happening. I don't know how many of you know Bhashini. Bhashini is the central government initiative. The central government initiative has provided 22 languages access, and anyone can use it. Any individual can use access to those central APIs to call any language. And Tech Mahindra is now adopting Bhashini in response to the southern dealers they are adopting Bashni, and this particular project is being done by IIIT Hyderabad. So IIIT Hyderabad is now the nodal center for Bashni. If someone is interested in EV, language, chatbots, this is the place to go. IIIT Hyderabad, you will find a lot of projects there relating to electric vehicles and what Tech Mahindra is doing. Similar projects you can get it at IIIT Hyderabad. One of my students is working in IIIT Hyderabad and he works with Bashni and he works with both Tata Motors and he works with Ford Center in India. Ford is developing exactly for its electric vehicles. Ford is developing regular interfaces. No, it's not just Hindi because Hindi is working in there. Now what they are developing, they are developing assistants inside electric vehicles, inside the green vehicles, where you can, just like your phone, you can use voice commands or voice to chat with an actual LLM which is built inside the car. And that's being done by using Bashni so that even the Telugu language is also recognized. Tech Mahindra is already doing it, as I said, for Hindi in industry. So Infosys is also partnering with developers to develop AI agents in the automotive industry. Wipro, as I said, Wipro is the best bet if you want a career in AI and your core. Wipro is the best bet because Wipro is integrating AI into EV manufacturing process itself. Wipro is always ahead of all IT companies when it comes to utilities or electrical industry. So you want a career, stick with Wipro. That's the best bet to go. So now it's working with NVIDIA to integrate AI into EV manufacturing process, focusing on driver and passenger monitoring. So these are again areas which you are looking at AI adoption in electric vehicles. So it's not just data collection at the battery level, but you are also looking at driver and passenger monitoring as well. So these are again another areas which are being explored by Wipro. That means obviously you are going to have two kinds of inputs. One is either through a chatbot, and as most of you have already learned how to develop chatbots. I taught in the class. So similar kind will emerge, and we also have speed chatbots where they respond, and that's exactly Wipro is bringing to the car down level, where it will be asking you questions or respond to your questions in your local language Telugu, and because it's connected to an LLM, because it's connected to an AI LLM, it can answer any questions relating to you, and that's exactly what is being done by Wipro. In fact, we have replicated this particular project. Our students have done it. So what we did, we collected the car manuals of nearly only the SLVs. So what we did, we stuck to only one segment. We collected the car manuals of every brand of SLC and every variant of that. We got around 465 manuals. Every one of these manuals was scanned and given to ChatGPT-4, and we developed a chatbot on top of that. So now what this chatbot does, you can input an image or you can input a condition. So as soon as you input a condition or an image in the chatbot, it will immediately respond what the dealer's manual says about that particular condition or particular. Say simple thing, take a photo. If your dashboard is showing some problem, take a photo, put it into the chatbot, and the chatbot will immediately tell you whatever the dealer has actually said about that particular one. So what we found initially is that this alone didn't suffice because the data was not sufficient in the dealer's manuals. So what we did, we tied up with BMW's car. BMW has a very good community online. So we tied up with that community. We drew up all their data and added it. And we are now planning to launch this into a startup company, because when we presented it at a national conference, when my students from SRK are privileged to our department, they went into a national level conference and presented the same thing. It cost us obviously because we are accessing ChatGPT. and ChatGPT charges $10 for every 1 hour of usage. So obviously, to show the judges, it costs us entirely around $1,000 to show to everyone who was coming there asking for chatbot demo. So every time we used it, we were also using up the GPU usage and API calls. So it cost us totally $1,000 only in access of GPIs. The API calls. So those definitely are costly. So now we are planning to go with smaller llamas because smaller llamas offer around for $10 you get almost 1 million lines of or nearly 10,000 transactions. So that's what we are looking at. We are going to dump ChatGPT and do it, and that's the kind of startup we are launching. So guys, the sky is open. The sky is open. If you have got ideas, AI is providing a platform to just leverage what to do. So you got ideas, you need to just launch, and I have shown you Pega. All you kids already or the third years, you know very clearly how to launch applications within 1 hour. You already have been trained in Pega. You know how to create blueprints, and you know also how many did Pega, by the way, applications? Complete chesara? Okay, 1/3. Good. So at least 1 girl has completed it. Boys we all cheyaleda. Only blueprint chesara. Chesava. Very good. Because they at least know now how to develop applications. So ilanti applications try to develop these kind of applications. You not just get a definite summer placement internship, but you definitely get a 15-20 lakh plus package if you do these kinds of projects. Normally, AI is now given you the potential to rise very high. And you don't need to learn coding, and that's the biggest part of it. You don't need to know any coding. Eటువంటి application we develop cheyachu. So what I just said was one example which my students are doing, but there are a lot of examples. India is a very large country, and that also means we have got a lot of unsolved problems in the industry. You can take up one unsolved problem and do it. Because that was actually an unsolved problem. So a chinna problem was there. I have to rush to a mechanic, or I have to ask a dealer, or I have to take it to a mechanic. These 3 options. If there was an option where I just input, photo input chesi then ichesi chappagalite, that's obviously a huge relief for me. Especially when I am stranded on a highway. Highway with a car I pin. Now I don't know anything about it. So this is the best option. Because a dealer or this 24/7 road service, kanisam oke 50 km దూరంలో ఉంది. Then what do you do, guys? These are the products we need in India, and these are what our students are doing, and that's what Wipro is also trying to do. Kindly work on these kind of projects. Electric vehicles are going to give you a lot of demand for these kind of projects. This is Tata Technology. So Tata Technology is using GenAI across engineering, manufacturing and aftermarket services in electric vehicles. Tata Technologies has got a very huge innovation team. It's better than core TCS when it comes to these kind of design innovation work. Tata Technologies is a separate company. So if you want, you can just take a look at that as well. Pure EV, this is again in battery spreaded AI driven system. So it takes, again this is not in US, India, this is in US. So it again acts at the battery level, and it repairs lithium-ion batteries using ANN based algorithms. So this is again very far-fetched for India. There is another one product, again this is Imobi, this is an Indian electric vehicle startup. So what it does, it uses AI, Internet of Things and 3D printing to optimize electric vehicle performance, enhancing operational efficiency. Guys, these are the kind of companies you should try for internships if you are interested in the electric vehicle industry, because these are the companies where you really learn a lot. So that's roughly about the use cases of usage of AI in the electric vehicle industry. So those who want to watch demos, I'll leave you this presentation. There are several ways which you can use or present demos as projects as well. So obviously you need to know a little bit of TensorFlow and PyTorch or SkyPy. MATLAB anyhow most of you learn. So now these are the areas which we use, with all the tools which we have. I'll give you links of all these sites. You can take a look like Homer Energy and all. There are nearly 3 to 4 projects here. The third one is how to deploy online smart charging infrastructure. So what do you do and how do you use Power BI? And the fourth one is battery management. How do you demonstrate predictive battery health management using neural networks? For all of these are full-scale projects. We have the entire code as well. We'll help you do this if you are interested. And the fifth one is YOLO. You can use YOLO for image detection or object detection and running videos as well. So the YOLO website is free. Anyone can use it. You can upload your video, and it will detect automatically moving objects inside the video. So we use object detection for real-time autonomous navigation. So because it helps us demonstrate lane detection using computer vision. So this is available. We'll provide you the links for this. Energy optimization. You can use scikit-learn. So these are again some tools. I'll just leave these tools with you guys. This is again a project which you can execute in Google Colab. In Google Colab, you have a lot of data sets available, and if the data set is not available, as I said, you can get the data set from Kaggle, or you go to renewable energy site.gov. In US, you have got huge data sets, millions and millions of data sets across all energy systems, whether it be wind power or biomass power or solar power. You have got huge data sets. You can use any of those data sets to bring it and then use it. We use a diamond forest algorithm, which most of you might know, to use that algorithm to predict battery health. Again, for this also we have projects. Any of these, if you are interested, we'll help you do that. So again, this is another project demo, renewable energy prediction. This is smart charging optimization using reinforcement learning. And this is object detection for autonomous driving. So guys, this is roughly about EVs and AI. And having said that, let me also come down. Let me also come down to the core department. I'll just skip some of it which I've already seen. This is the entire energy industry, E and U, what we call energy and utilities industry. So we are looking at how the utilities industry is also getting revolutionized with AI, obviously because these are the challenges which we have, aging infrastructure, demand volatility, etc. So how we are using it. As I said, the only reason I just don't want to forward this is to use the use cases, and obviously I keep repeating, stick with Wipro. So business first approach to GenAI is obviously done by Wipro. Wipro has got a lot of these use cases, and in fact let me show you if you can look at this is Wipro's GenAI site in utilities, and this is where it's using GenAI utilities, grid optimization, AR asset maintenance, energy transition, and customer billing. When it comes to customer billing, again let me give you an example. What Wipro did, Wipro worked for Condensation to create a chatbot. Guys, I also have taught you how to create chatbot, so let me just give an example. So Wipro worked with Edison to develop a chatbot, and what this chatbot does it tells potential customers which plan to take. It listens to the customer usage, it listens to the customer's requirements, and then advises which plan the customer should take. We have replicated this exact use case, and we sent out students this particular use case to Wipro Utilities head, and so impressed was he that they have got some internships at nearly somewhere around 70 to 80k. That's I don't have the exact figure, but it's above 70. I don't have the exact figure. So these are the use cases. See, one thing, none of these internships which I have been talking about are advertised in public. They don't advertise these internships in public. So we do these use cases and we send out directly to the decision maker in those companies. It's just like what you do when you go for MS. So what do all our Indian students do when they go for MS? 1 year before they start looking at who is the professor in that particular college, and they start writing to the professor with their white papers and say that you are interested in this. This is exactly, guys, MS when you are doing all your marketing and trying to get the professor to award you a research assistantship even before you are entering the company. Why don't you do the same thing for your job? That's exactly what we are doing for our kids. So Wipro, we did an exact dialogue flow chatbot, which is what I have also taught you. So we developed a dialogue flow chatbot replicating exactly for using the Edison data. See, Edison plans are available publicly. On Edison website. So we took all the plans. We did exactly what Wipro's team did, built a chatbot and took it to Wipro. So obviously, those are the cases which you should be thinking innovatively to get an entry into companies like Wipro. And this is exactly what Wipro is doing in utilities. It's working on all these areas, right from document and even digitization to generation optimization. These are all the areas which Wipro Utilities at this moment is working, and these are the jobs which is available to you if you want to work with Wipro. And none of these jobs require even a little bit of coding. But guys, the biggest opportunity for you is the CSE guys can't get. Kindly remember, your biggest advantage is your core engineering. These are jobs which CSE guys can't do because they don't understand your domain. These are jobs which only you guys can do because you understand this domain and they don't. ECE guys can't do it, civil can't do, mechanical can't do. So your core engineering enabled by GenAI is what you should be targeting, because this whole area you don't need to learn even one line of code. Did you develop chatbots using even one line of code? Without writing a line of code, you develop chatbots, right? This is exactly the same, guys. Do it. So this was Wipro. If you look at these market statistics, GenAI in the outdoor energy market, so you're looking at this much huge demand only in the energy market. So robotics, renewals management, demand forecasting, safety and security and other applications. These are the areas which you are having huge demand for GenAI. So this is utilities. This is that was energy, and this is that was energy market, and this is utilities. So in utilities, GenAI is working in these areas, and you look at the market size of each of these areas: electricity generation, transmission, distribution, water and wastewater management, oil and gas utilities, renewable energy integration, customer engagement, and energy efficiency. So these are all areas you are looking at in the utilities market for GenAI. Again, these are use cases which we have been working on. These all are use cases. Again, again most of these use cases come to us from Wipro normally. So even this one is from Wipro. For energy, this is what we have seen. These are the say 8 areas which we have already seen. These are 8 areas which are very promising. This is another one top use case. This was executed by Accenture. So what Accenture did, guys, in UI part change hai na? Did we do RPA? Tripling hits? RPA change. We did RPA for others because I think we didn't do for tripling. So this is what exactly Octopus Energy, this Accenture use case. So what Accenture is helping Octopus Energy is doing, it is helping AI, using AI to respond to the customer emails. So it's automating the entire process of email response, and this is what exactly Octopus Energy and Accenture, this is one project which was successful. And now it was very clearly, the outcome was very clearly, it surpassed obviously what was being done earlier by trained human staff. Again, this is Ontario Power, this is from Microsoft. This particular chatbot was developed by Microsoft Services, and this was executed by Microsoft Hyderabad, and that's how we got this project. So Microsoft Hyderabad, you know very well, Microsoft has got a very huge center in Hyderabad. So Microsoft Hyderabad developed this project for Ontario Power. So they developed an AI-powered tool for employees called Chat OPG. So we got this project from Microsoft, and we have converted this into a full-scale project and replicated this entire project. And again, this is what we do. We do it, we get our students to replicate it, then we push this for a summer internship in Microsoft. So that's what we normally do. We only go for those internships which are never advertised. We create our own opportunities, and this is what we do. This is Con Edison, which I was speaking about. This is Duke Energy. Duke Energy is from TCS. This is GenAI for fault detection in power systems. So this is again another area which we are helping out students to do workout. This is applicable even in India. Even in India we are doing it with discounts. So what we do, what I gave initially was the transformer model, where you are not sure when you can do it. See, for example, if you take Decent Road of transformer road, ekkadante main road ki kaakunda entire state bank దగ్గర ఉంది. I used to stay in the Decent Road. Every month the transformer used to go off. Kanisam ఒక half day మాకు problem వచ్చేది. Why? Because one single transformer is powering the entire Decent Road. ఒకే ఒక ట్రాన్స్ఫార్మర్ ఉంది, మెయిన్ డీసెంట్ రోడ్ మీద లేదు. లెఫ్ట్ సైడ్ చిన్న సందు ఉంటుంది, స్టేట్ బ్యాంక్ ఉంటుంది. ఆ స్టేట్ బ్యాంక్ క్యాంపస్ లో ఉన్న ట్రాన్స్ఫార్మర్ మొత్తం డీసెంట్ రోడ్ కి అదే లోడ్. సో ఆబ్వియస్లీ ఇంత పెద్ద లోడ్ ఒక చిన్న ట్రాన్స్ఫార్మర్ ఇట్ కాంట్ టేక్ ఇట్. ఎవ్రీ నౌ అండ్ దెన్ ఇట్ యూజ్డ్ టు ఫెయిల్. బికాస్ వెన్ వి యూజ్డ్ టు ఆస్క్, ఇంకా మేమే బాధపడేవాళ్ళం అక్కడ, ఎందుకంటే అప్పుడప్పుడు కరెంట్ పోయేది, డీసెంట్ రోడ్ లో మాకు కరెంట్ పోయేది. So then we used to ask, because it's very hard to diagnose the overload. I am speaking about Decent Road in 2023. 2023 though we don't have technology to estimate the load capacity or load, how much load is going to come. See, apparke penchukuntu poyaru. They started with 40 kV, made it 65. They kept on increasing the transformer capacity, but they were still unable to diagnose when maintenance actually done. So that's where they kept on bouncing every now and then. So finally all the traders associations called on these discoms to do a maintenance regardless of load every month. So that's when our outing stopped. So guys, this is a huge area. this is a huge area because you have got substations spread across AP. And you have all of those are gold mine for you in using AI. They are a huge gold mine. If you want a very strong career in your core, those are the places. Field work, Kani, those are the path for. Obviously when you choose electrical engineering, you knew that you are going to do a lot of field work. This is field work, but there is a huge data which needs to be organized and studied, and discoms, because we work with discoms, and discoms are so happy to give all this data free of cost if we are really able to help them. So every discount is ready because mass students will choose them, waiver when they were very happy to hand over the data. Obviously, we are going to help them using AI. It will help them obviously, right? So everyone is ready, guys. So this is a market where you have enough data available. So you help these utility companies do the demand forecasting and grid optimization. If you do the demand forecasting, grid optimization obviously becomes much more easier. So energy consumption forecasting in residential areas, this is exactly what is another area which I was saying. What we spoke earlier was commercial, but energy consumption forecasting in residential areas, energy field. E jobs kindly remember, 2 years back, ilanti jobs market lo levu. So if you try to search for these kind of jobs for 2 years back, like if you ask your seniors, they do not have any knowledge. These are jobs which are being created as we speak. If you can do this energy consumption forecasting in residential areas using AI, we are doing it, and there's a huge market even to do this energy consumption. If same commercial load need balance chase optimize chase predict cheyagalagutam. If you can do the same, if you take Taripalli, across once you cross barrage, you have got these huge communities, prati chota closed communities. If you can take one of these big closed communities as a use case, even if you can do the load balancing and you can use AI using the data sets, వాళ్ళు హ్యాపీగా ఇస్తారు. వాళ్ళ దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళి మీరు డేటా అడిగితే వాళ్ళు హ్యాపీగా 1 year డేటా ఇవ్వమన్నా ఇస్తారు. ఇఫ్ యూ క్యాన్ డూ సమ్ అనాలిసిస్ హ్యాపీలీ, మీరు ఏం చేయొద్దు, ఆ డేటాను తీసుకొచ్చేసి ఒక టేబుల్ ఫార్మాట్ ఇస్తే ఆ టేబుల్ తీసుకొచ్చి చాట్‌జీపీటీకి ఇచ్చేసేయండి. అది చేసుకుంటుంది ఆ ప్రాసెసింగ్ అంతా, మీరేం చేయక్కర్లేదు కూడా. లేదు వాళ్ళు ఇచ్చింది మాన్యువల్ డేటా అయితే, then you have to scan each of the papers and then convert it using OCR into a table format or a database format and then submit it to an LLM. So these are projects which you can do. So energy management in smart homes, one of the team is actually doing smart home energy prediction, predictive maintenance for electric development to predictive maintenance for electric equipment within a smart home and a car system as well. So these are areas. Semiconductor design, that's mostly for ECs. So these are again other new innovations which are coming in electrical engineering. And these are, guys, your projects, final year project examples which we hand over to students. Those who are interested can contact us. One is smart grid optimization, second is predictive maintenance for electrical equipment, energy consumption forecasting. So we help students create a model to forecast energy consumption patterns in residential or industrial area, fault detection in power systems. So other predictive maintenance for electric development, in that we check substations. Substations, biggest market, and it's a gold mine. India lo ippardaka evaru ekku cheyaledu idi. So AI use chesi we can do this predictive maintenance. హాయిగా మీకు యూ కెన్ జస్ట్ సిట్ ఇన్ యువర్ ఓన్ హోమ్, మీ ఊర్లోనే మీరు కూర్చొని యూ కెన్ ఎర్న్ వెరీ హై ప్యాకేజెస్. ఎవ్రీ డిస్కమ్ నీడ్స్ ఎన్ ఏఐ ఇంజనీర్. అంటే యూఆర్ లుకింగ్ ఎట్ ఎవ్రీ 5 సబ్స్టేషన్. ఒక విజయవాడ తీసుకుంటే ఎవ్రీ 5 సబ్స్టేషన్స్ విల్ రిక్వైర్ అట్లీస్ట్ 1 ఏఐ ఇంజనీర్. ఒక ఏఐ ఇంజనీర్ ఉంటే ఆ సబ్స్టేషన్ విల్ రియల్లీ బి వెరీ హ్యాపీ టు ప్రొవైడ్ విత్ ద డేటా. ఇఫ్ యూ క్యాన్ డూ ద అనాలిసిస్, that's a very big market, predicting maintenance. So again, in predictive maintenance, these are some of the projects which we provide. Design of efficient electrical machines, renewable energy integration. See again, this particular project, renewable energy integration, we have done it in Trivli only, but we got support from the HOD of Trivli for this, Varmagarani SRK HOD. So what he gave us a project which he had personally executed, integrating multiple sources. అంటే ఒక wind energy కాదు, wind energy, solar energy కలిపి, if you can integrate them into the grid and then do analysis of the energy that's coming using AI. This is exactly the HOD sir helped the students execute this. Guys, this is a very interesting project. So multi-source integration చాలా తక్కువ మంది చేశారు, and we were able to execute. We and the students were able to execute, the final year Trivli students, only because of Varma sir. He had already done some work on that. So again, he helped us, allowing us to use his lab, and our kids were able to do it. So ఇలాంటి ప్రాజెక్ట్స్ చేయండి renewable energy లో. Electric vehicle charging optimization. It's a good, కానీ honestly don't try it physically, ఎందుకంటే మీకు అంత ఇన్ఫ్రాస్ట్రక్చర్ ఇండియాలో లేదు. But you can do a simulation. Altair లో చేయండి, లేదా MATLAB లో చేసుకోండి. We can also do this using prompts. I can leave you some of these slides how to do it. For example, prompt create a predictive maintenance schedule for transformers and circuit breakers based on historical feature data. అంటే మొత్తం షెడ్యూల్ కూడా అది ఇచ్చేస్తుంది. So you can also use prompt engineering for it. Smart home. Smart home, energy management in smart home, another area which is very of use. And మా పిల్లలు చాలా ప్రాజెక్ట్స్ చేశారు దీంట్లో కూడా. And I'm talking only about Trivli. We are talking only about Trivli in various places, not just in SRKR, PVP, Siddhartha, EC and Trivli also have worked in these areas. So final year projects in smart home integration. So we have done smart home energy management system that takes less time to use appliances and optimizes energy storage. ఎందుకో కానీ స్మార్ట్ హోమ్ ప్రాజెక్ట్ అన్ని అమ్మాయిలే తీసుకున్నారు, అబ్బాయిలు ఎవరు తీసుకోలేదు. I don't know why. Both in PVP and SRKR, smart home integration projects were taken only by all girls teams. I don't know why. What's the relation between it? Energy consumption analysis. So these were again other areas which we did. So all these are practical projects which we are only talking about those projects which have been executed by the students. So what do you do, guys? When I'm talking about projects, projects ki one thing you know, every project needs data set. Ippudu take a smartphone. Smartphone lo mee data sets lekapothe asalu ela chestaru ee projects. So that's again we do help them. Even if you don't have data sets, how can you generate random data sets? దానికి కూడా we normally help in all three areas. Predictive analysis లో కానీ, energy management లో కానీ, how to collect random data, we also do that. So this is energy consumption forecasting in residential areas. This is simulation of an electric motor design. So guys, these are all the work which we do in renewable energy. Now I open the floor to questions, so that I can further focus after I hear your questions. Ma'am, questions?
Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions regarding this topic? Again, questions unte adagandi.
For all these projects, we also provide the code. These reserved for privileged students. Electric vehicle charging schedule as well, we also provide this code. Creating a system to manage EV charging schedules in a parking lot to maximize energy efficiency. All you need is Python and MATLAB. You can automatically implement the scheduling algorithms. We also provide the code for that as well. అసలు ఇది వినిపిస్తుందా అదే వినిపిస్తుందా అందరికీ? Guys, silence please. Kindly allow your faculty to listen to this please.
Like this would tell you, it is vital that your children learn computer science. Everybody should learn how to program. And in fact, it's almost exactly the opposite. It is our job to create computing technology such that nobody has to program. And that the programming language is human. Everybody in the world is now a programmer. This is the miracle. This is the miracle of artificial intelligence. For the very first time, we have closed the gap. The technology divide has been completely closed. And this is the reason why so many people can engage artificial intelligence. And this is the reason why every single government, every single industrial conference, every single company is talking about artificial intelligence today.
IBM CEO Arvind Krishna says thousands of jobs could be automated by artificial intelligence. Now India.
We supported 300 million full-time jobs in the digital labor for AI bots, augmenting working alongside their fellow humans.
So that's it, sir. We today are in a world where everyone is a programmer, and this has been made possible not because of AI, sir. AI varna is apne in the semiconductors. Only because NVIDIA provided us those powerful semiconductors, the hopper chips and the Blackwell GPUs, we have been able to process data at such a huge extent that we don't need to code anymore. And that's the most powerful person in the world today. And he is not Elon Musk, he is not Intel, he is a semiconductor company owner. NVIDIA. So NVIDIA is dictating the IT industry, sir.
So what you are saying is that the future is for only for electronics and electricals, right?
Future is for core engineering, sir.
Means for electricals it's EV and for electronics it's
electronics obviously, sir, because semiconductors is booming like anything. Everyone is going for Blackwell chips. Electrical, obviously, because electrical is associated with data centers, and current way consumption is going, we are looking at data centers occupying more than 10% of all energy consumption in the US. Data centers running with these large language models are going to occupy 10% of entire consumption of energy in US.
So what you are saying is that now the whatever the CSC students are in this situation
Close.
right now, so
Close.
that situation will be taken over by the electrical and electronics
So
in the
what I
future,
am saying
right?
is a platform has been created at this moment where the traditional advantage of CSC students has completely closed, and that's exactly what he is saying. Everyone is a programmer today. That means anyone who can write, that's prompting. Anyone who can write today can become a programmer.
So now I am asking, so what CSC student have to learn right now other than Python, C, C++ and Java?
AI.
Sir, AI is just a small thing. That applications are more, but AI is just a small thing, right?
So that's unfortunately you're getting it wrong, sir. AI is a very huge field, very huge field. Everyone thinks, honestly, everyone thinks that AI is ChatGPT. ChatGPT is hardly 1% of AI stuff. If you take only in EEE you have seen so many applications of AI, and you are talking about entire industries. Only in EEE you have seen so much, sir. Almost $40 billion market only from GenAI and the energy and utilities industries.
Sir, AI means learning, right, sir?
Sir, AI means machine learning.
Yeah, machine learning. That the information which have to be machine has to learn from us, no, sir.
Machine will learn from the data which you provide.
అవునా డేటా సెట్ అవైలబుల్ మనమే
Yeah, data set and any machine, any AI machine is only as good as the data you give. మీరు కరెక్ట్ డేటా ఇవ్వకపోతే AI will not tell.
అంటే సార్ అడిగేది ఏంటంటే
సార్ ఆ
డేటా సెట్ ఇవ్వడానికైనా కానీ హ్యూమన్ కావాలి కదా.
కావాలి, and those will be the only people who will be surviving.
ఓకే.
See, AI is not going to come and take anyone's job. It's only the person who knows AI will come and take over. And that's exactly what we are saying. When World Economic Forum is saying 540 million jobs are going to be lost, it's because all these sectors are getting automated. Like I said, Walmart has removed 7 lakh warehouse workers and put 1 lakh warehouse workers and put 7 lakh robots. They are going for long haul trucks without drivers. Annitki why it's possible because of AI advancement. And AI would not have advanced without the semiconductor.
Sir, any particular thing in the AI to, if I want to study CSE, any particular thing to start from to learn the AI? Directly AI నేర్చుకోలేను కదా సార్ నేను అంటే స్టార్ట్ ఎలా చేయాలి?
There are 4 pillars, sir, and that's what we start giving for these kids. We have got the same 4 pillars of AI, NLP, natural language processing, second is machine learning, third is deep learning, and finally GenAI. ఏదైతే 3 pillars నేర్పించినాకే నేను GenAI నేర్పించాను.
సో
అంటే వాటిని రాయాలంటే బేసిక్ గా పైథాన్ అనేది
సార్ ఇప్పుడు నేను అడుగుతుంది ఏంటంటే
Python basic challenge. Beyond Python, you don't need to learn any other coding language.
so the student can learn from the starting onwards they can learn the Python basics.
Basics.
So no need of learning C, C++, Java and everything. They can start from Python, right?
Let me just play one introductory seminar like pages to answer your question. Sir, to get a job in GenAI for B.Tech fresher, all you need only one Python language. Beyond this, you don't need anything at all. Next, you need to know machine learning and deep learning. So a solid understanding of these concepts includes knowledge of neural networks, CNN, RNN, then GenAI models. And then data analysis and visualization. Some EEE are also already learning Power BI and all. So data analysis and visualization, these are the only technical skills you require to succeed in GenAI. You don't need any other technology beyond this. So only your understanding of Python is more than enough. And when Jensen Huang said, we are creating infrastructure so that no one has to program, he has made it possible creating those powerful Blackwell GPUs. Sir, ఇప్పుడు March 2024 లో వాళ్ళు రిలీజ్ చేసిన Blackwell GPU, each Blackwell GPU $250,000, it can run 10 ChatGPTs, sir. And obviously the space is much less than 10 data centers. ఒక చిన్న chip, I can almost just like this much size, it is occupying the same space as, it's allowing the same kind of GPU performance which a big data center would have provided. Now, when this is possible, why do we need to program still? Pegalo the applications 1 hour lo tayaraipotunte, why do we need to redo? Sir, the age of reusable code is now in the market.
Sir,
we are just reusing again and again.
Sir, what's your suggestion for the CSE student when he starts his life in the B.Tech? What is the first thing he have to learn? Python, right, sir?
Python.
Then he have to go for machine learning and the deep learning.
Yes.
That's it enough. Right.
Sir, and they use as platforms to make certifications.
on AI?
We already got them done, sir. For NLP, we got them certified from great learning. From machine learning, we got all the students certified in Kaggle. For prompt engineering, we got all the students certified from IBM. For GenAI, we got all the students certified from Microsoft.
So Microsoft will do directly the certificate.
Microsoft GenAI Career Essentials is a mandatory requirement for you to get inside the IT industry today. All these kids take it on the first day itself. So in this next to soft skills. So in fact, ఇప్పుడు 2 years from now, actually, if machines, if Sundar Pichai comes and says 50% of my coding is being done by AI, then the only difference then, sir, it becomes this: soft skills. Soft skills, emotional intelligence, those will be the key differentiators. When everything is being done by machines, the only difference that humans can make are good communication skills, good leadership skills. వాళ్ళకి ఎప్పుడు మార్కెట్ ఉంటుంది సార్, వాళ్ళకి ఏ రోజు మార్కెట్ పోదు. But the rest of things, it will come down. Fresher jobs తగ్గిపోతాయి because automation is happening at the bottom level. Testing automation అయిపోయింది. BPO industry already collapsed. Search engine optimization collapsed. Digital marketing collapsed. Market research collapsed. You talk about customer refund collapsed. You're talking about entire industries collapsing, but at the same time, you are creating AI augmented jobs. ఈ కొత్త రోల్స్ 2 years back we never heard a title called prompt engineering. కానీ Ranbaxy is offering prompt engineering 15 lakh rupees for only one prompt technique, that's few shots technique. ఇలాంటిది we never heard 2 years back. నేను ఇండస్ట్రీలో 26 years నుంచి ఉన్నాను. ప్రాంప్ట్ ఇంజనీరింగ్ అనే టైటిల్ వస్తుందని నేను ఊహించలేదు. దానికి Ranbaxy వాళ్ళు 15 lakhs ఇస్తారండి, అంటే ఓపెన్ అడ్వర్టైజ్మెంట్ ఇస్తారు. అండ్ అగైన్ ద బిగ్గెస్ట్ థింగ్ ఇస్ దిస్ అడ్వర్టైజ్మెంట్ డజంట్ హ్యావ్ ఎ డిగ్రీ మ్యాండేట్. అంటే బీటెక్ చేయాలి ఎనీ గ్రాడ్యుయేట్. అండ్ దట్స్ ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ వాట్ హీ ఈస్ సేయింగ్. There is no difference today between a BSc, BTech, CSc, nothing at all. Anyone who learns prompting is a programmer today.
Thank you.
Okay? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Uma Desu, sir, for providing a very valuable information on Generate AI, which is related to our topic, which is nothing but our electric vehicles, how these AI techniques are applicable to these electric vehicles. Thank you for this informative session, sir. Now I request our principal, Dr. C. Nagavaskar, sir, of NRI Institute of Technology, and our head of the department and coordinator of ATAL FDP, controller of examinations, Dr. N. Sambasivara, sir, to please come on to the dais and felicitate Uma Desu, sir.